Hey everyone, it's Alex, and I am back with another 90th Academy Awards update video. I had meant to make this video about 3 weeks ago, because that's when the news that I'm going to be discussing here first came out, but I got busy with other things and I just didn't have the chance to make this video until now. But I am here today to talk about the winners for the Academy's annual Governors Awards. Now, the Governors Awards are an awards ceremony / dinner that are designed to give certain individuals lifetime achievement or humanitarian awards. Usually those who get lifetime achievement awards will get what's called an Honorary Oscar, which is basically an Oscar of lifetime achievement in whatever craft of filmmaking you do. Then there are other awards like the Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award, which is usually given to a celebrity for their philanthropic work, and that too is usually in the form of an Oscar statuette. But unlike the main Oscar ceremony, you don't have to compete for either an honorary Oscar or a Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award. It's given to the person by the Academy's Board of Governors, and they're the person that's going to receive it no matter what. They don't have to compete against anybody for it. There's also an award called the Irving G. Thalberg Memorial Award, which is usually given out to someone who's done a lot of innovation in filmmaking, but they're not giving that out this year. They don't necessarily give out the same awards every year. Now, these awards used to be presented on the main Oscar telecast, in which there'd be like a big video tribute. The honoree would get to speak for several minutes, etc., etc. But in recent years, they've moved these awards away from the main telecast and given them their own ceremony, so that way there's no time limit on how long the winner can speak, and there's no time limit on how long presenters can present, although I'm sure there's some guidelines to prevent people from being up on stage too long. And there can also be more than one person honored, because usually with the Oscar telecast there would only be one person who would be given these awards. With the Governors Awards, they're able to honor 3, 4, or even 5 people, depending on how many they choose to honor. This year, though, they're going to be giving out 4 honorary Oscars for lifetime achievement. No Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award and no Irving G. Thalberg Memorial Award. Just lifetime achievement honorary Oscars. But enough about me blabbering on. Let's get to who is actually going to be receiving these things. And the 4 recipients this year are the following: writer-director Charles Burnett, cinematographer Owen Roizman, actor Donald Sutherland, and director Agnes Varda. Now, here's a little bit about each of these recipients, as well as an overview of the ceremony based on this Academy press release that I printed out right here. The Board of Governors of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences voted Tuesday night, September 5th, to present honorary awards to writer-director Charles Burnett, cinematographer Owen Roizman, actor Donald Sutherland, and director Agnes Varda. The 4 Oscar statuettes will be presented at the Academy's 9th Annual Governors Awards on Saturday, November 11th at the Ray Dolby Ballroom at Hollywood and Highland Center. This year's Governors Awards reflect the breadth of international, independent, and mainstream filmmaking, and are tributes to 4 great artists whose work embodies the diversity of our shared humanity, said Academy President John Bailey. Born in Mississippi and raised in the Watts neighborhood of Los Angeles, Burnett is an independent filmmaker whose work has been praised for its portrayal of the African American experience. He wrote, directed, produced, photographed, and edited his first feature film, Killer of Sheep, in 1977. His other features include My Brother's Wedding, To Sleep with Anger, The Glass Shield, and Namibia, The Struggle for Liberation. Burnett also has made several documentaries, including America Becoming and Nat Turner, A Troublesome Property, and such short films as The Horse and When It Rains. Roizman earned 5 Oscar nominations for his work on The French Connection, The Exorcist, Network, Tootsie, and Wyatt Earp. He began his career shooting television commercials before making his debut feature film Stop in 1970. His other notable credits include The Heartbreak Kid, 3 Days of the Condor, Absence of Malice, True Confessions, The Addams Family, and Grand Canyon. Roizman represented the cinematographers branch on the Academy's Board of Governors from 2002 to 2011. With more than 140 film credits spanning 6 decades, Canadian-born Sutherland began his career with small roles in British and Italian films before his breakthrough in The Dirty Dozen. Since then, he has starred in such varied films as MASH, Klute, Don't Look Now, The Day of the Locust, 1900, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Ordinary People, Cold Mountain, The Italian Job, Pride and Prejudice, and the Hunger Games series. Belgian-born Varda has been called the mother of the French New Wave. Her first feature, La Pointe Courte, which she wrote and directed with no formal training, is considered to be the film that inspired the movement. Varda has experimented with all forms of filmmaking, from shorts to documentaries to narrative feature films during her more than 60-year career, including such works as the new wave classic Cleo from 5 to 7, Le Bonheur, One Sings, the Other Doesn't, Vagabond, Jacques, The Gleaners and I, her autobiographical documentary The Beaches of Agnes, and her most recent work, Faces Places. The honorary award, an Oscar statuette, is given to honor extraordinary distinction and lifetime achievement, exceptional contributions to the state of motion picture arts and sciences, or for outstanding service to the Academy. And those are the recipients of this year's Governor's Awards. Now, if you've watched my videos before, you may have noticed that there's a new Academy president. For a while, the president of the Academy was Cheryl Boone Isaacs, but she reached her maximum term limit this summer. The Academy president can serve 4 one-year terms, depending on how long they've been serving on the Academy Board of Governors. If they only have a few years left on the Board of Governors, like say 2 or 3, then that's how long they can serve as Academy president if they're elected. The rules of the Academy Board of Governors, I'm not going to go into too much detail because they would be the subject of their own video if I were going to make one. But basically, Cheryl Boone Isaacs, she reached her maximum term limit, and now there's a new president named John Bailey. But as for the winners, admittedly, the only winner I'm truly familiar with is Donald Sutherland. I've seen several of his films because he's been around for many decades. Ordinary People is probably the best film of his that I've seen. I wouldn't say it was good enough to win Best Picture over Raging Bull, which is a cinematic masterpiece, but that's a subject of its own I could make a video about, but I'm not going to because that's not really my thing. But Ordinary People is still a very great film, and Donald Sutherland is fantastic in it. And of course, like many people of my generation, I certainly remember him from The Hunger Games, and he was fantastic in that. He's been in a lot of really great movies. He was good in MASH, even though I don't think that film is as good as other people say it is. I'm trying to think other films of his I've seen, because he's been in so many. I can't think of... Oh, Cold Mountain. I did see that film. He was good in that. I can't think of another film I've seen right at this moment, but I have seen some of his films. I did see him in a music video for one of my favorite singers, Kate Bush. He was in the music video for her song Cloud Busting, which is my favorite Kate Bush song. So a lot of good things right there. As for the other winners, for Owen Roizman, I've seen 2 of his 5 nominations, The Exorcist and Network, but I'll have to look at the rest of his IMDb filmography to see what other films I've seen. As for Charles Burnett and Agnes Varda, I've heard of them, but admittedly I've never seen either of their works. But that's kind of the purpose of the Governor's Awards, to highlight individuals who may have been working in the film industry for a long time, but may not necessarily be known to a wide audience. And even though this ceremony is not going to be broadcast on live television, because usually the Governor's Awards aren't, the Academy will be posting clips on YouTube, which they do every year as part of this. So yeah, November 11th, these 4 individuals will receive their awards at the Governor's Awards. And in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be getting even more Oscar news about which films have been declared eligible for certain categories. and I definitely can't wait to get into those because it's always interesting every year to see what makes the cut of eligibility and what does not. Alright, well that's all I have to say for now, but thank you guys so much for watching, and please subscribe to my channel if you have not yet already done so you can get more of my new videos as soon as they're uploaded, and stay tuned in the coming weeks and months for more Oscar and other award show related videos, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!